Yay, we're live. Hi guys. So as I said in previous videos, this is my first live stream, and this stream is going to be all about 8-bit micros. Now I'm joined with 3 other guests, all big fans of micros, a couple of them in a dreaded Spectrum, but we'll get to that. And I'm going to bring in my first guest now, who is a Specky fan. Don't hold that against him. I can see him looking at me now. And that is Scott Sega Zombie. How you doing, mate?
You won't hold that against me. What the fact that the Spectrum was the greatest 8-bit micro ever.
Wow. I can't say much. I've picked up one myself now. So
Well, exactly, you see, you
although it's not working.
Bit like my Commodore 64 then.
Oh, is it not working?
Not properly, no.
Oh, shit. Is that a SID chip issue, do you think? Or
it's one of the chips. It's not the SID chip. It's it won't allow me to use the SD card reader.
Oh, okay.
It won't pick up the drive, so it's something that I'm going to get Steve 8-bit retro refix to fix.
Funny you mentioned him, because at some point need to have him on at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's bring in our next guest. I don't imagine anyone's going to be surprised by this guy because he's always covering micros, and that is Ginger Hippy Gaming.
Right, hello, how you doing? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 2 against 1 at the moment, though, with the Spectrum. I have to say, though, I've never had a Spectrum break that I found, but every Commodore 64's needed work.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I mean, my C64 was good. It worked straight away. So, in my case, it is the Spectrum that's the issue. So,
wow. They must know you don't like them. That's why.
I don't like them. I mean, we'll get into that later on because I have actually enjoyed when it has worked. So, but we'll get into that later. Right. Okay. So let's bring our next guy in just to even things up a bit because I know he's a C64 fan. And that is Paul Retrobait.
Hi, Lee. Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing good.
I couldn't tell you're a Commodore 64 fan with that T-shirt.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just shouting at Scott there. It's your CIA chip. That's it. But what I was going to say was, I don't know if Steve had said this to you. If they're socketed, because there's 2 of them next to each other at the top left-hand side of the board, swap them over, and then like some things will start working and other things should stop working, but the chips are identical. So
yeah, no, they're soldered in.
It's
just my luck, isn't it? You know, because he said the chances are that they're socketed, but no, they're soldered in.
What kind of C64 is it? Is it a 64C or bread bin or?
Yeah, C64C.
I was going to say, if it wasn't for the Commodore 64s breaking down, I probably wouldn't have gotten back into micros as much. But like, before I was
what a great comeback that was, eh? 64's always going on.
The one that I picked up originally back in like 2015, like when I got back into it, really, or 2016, it broke. So I thought, I'm just going to try and fix it myself. So that's when I started watching like more videos on it, like how to repair.
Then go down that rabbit hole.
And yeah, I totally went into that. I had my own eBay shop. I was buying knackered ones, selling them, and I had to stop because the tax, it was starting to get within the tax threshold, and
was that funding your
and that? So it was I had to just stop, and that's when I really got into heavy collecting.
Oh, that's the only reason you had to stop, other than the fact you got about 30 in your garage.
I've probably got at least 25, 30 Commodore 64s in there.
Wow.
They're all not working. Most of them are just salvage parts from fix ones that I would bring in.
Yeah.
Like if they were just like, if there was too much, or I don't know, if I couldn't work out what it was or anything like that, because I'm not that good at doing them.
Did you get any 128s?
Sell them. Oh yeah, I've got a 128 down here.
See, I've never seen a 128. I mean, I'd love to own one, but they're kind of pointless. So, like, how many games are actually made for the 128 on its own?
Oh,
I didn't even know there was a Commodore 128.
Yeah, there was.
Do you want us to show you it? Shall I show you the 128?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, go on. It's not every day you see one of these. So, while you're doing that, I'm going to bring up some comments because there's a few people in the chat. So we have the RGB Gaming Podcast. Finally, a stream about micros. I thought I was the only one. Looking forward to this one, lads.
Oh, brilliant.
Thanks for coming on. Hobby Lodge, hello all.
Right.
Hey, man.
Oh, look,
Hey,
Retro
mate.
Date's here too.
It's got to be on there as well.
Oh, there's my mate. I used to work with this guy, Raven Cat.
Hey, mate. Oh, there's Alex.
I was just saying, how do you pronounce it? Is it U Stargamer or is it EW Stargamer?
EW Stargamer, I think.
See,
I'm
I'd
not
say,
sure, though.
I'd say you, Stargamer.
I might be you.
Or
Star.
you,
I don't know. I
yeah.
just know him as Alex.
Yeah,
Oh, we call him Alex.
Alex will do.
Generation Pixel. How you
You all
doing,
right?
Stu?
Hi, Stu.
Oh, look, here he is.
How's the CPC?
Have you worked out how to push play yet, Lee?
Don't forget the space bar.
Oh, look, C64 or CPC, straight underneath.
Neither. Spectrum.
Oh, well. Oh, is that the 128?
That is the one to
really cool.
That's
But
the
here's
one
the
to
thing,
it.
though.
So it's kind of in between the Amiga and the C64C, which you've got, Scott. Like you can see the design at the top here. And if you look at the side profile, it's almost identical.
Yeah,
Yeah, but how
almost
many
like a
games
500.
were made just for the 128? Because there's not many games. Most people had one, and they ran it just in Commodore 64 mode, didn't they?
There ain't many, because the 128, it was basically it's to do with your printer and how much display you can have on a screen. So, like, but in the days, I had these printers, and you couldn't type at the end, so it wasted loads of paper. So they made the 128, so it's got extra columns, so when you print, like, it would fill like the actual, like the printer, or so it was something along those lines.
Useless
Something
now.
something that you can't use.
It was an excuse for Commodore, though, weren't it, to bring out another
something
Commodore?
else. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Should we
That's what
talk about
Commodore
the C64 GS? You know, the best-selling console of all time.
I think we'll wait.
He's going to get them all out now.
Yeah. Oh, look, I've just seen a comment here.
Oh, it's in the house.
I don't love it. Come on, Chelsea. I've got to admit, I'm not a Chelsea fan. My boy is, my youngest. So, yeah, I don't.
How many times do you have to
support
defend that?
Oh, all
There's
the time.
breaking news a little while ago. The owner's selling up, isn't he?
That's
Yes.
it. He's aware.
After
Yeah.
20 years.
And apparently he's looking to donate that money, I've heard, as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. There's a lot of football talk in the chat.
The amazing if true.
Oh, look, Raven Cat. We had a C64. Best computer.
Expensive computer.
8-bit Retro Refix. How you doing? I thought he'd be lurking.
Steve will know. He'll be able to put it in the chat. It was something to do with printers and extra columns or something on the 128, but nobody uses it because all the games were just made for Commodore 64s.
So it plays all Commodore 64 games.
Yeah,
completely
You
press-
type in
there's a-
Core 64. And
there's a button combination, so it just changes it just straight into Commodore 64 mode with the same load-up screen and everything. So that's all. It's just how expensive is it now, though, to get one?
Oh, I've no idea. Like,
Yeah, they're bloody expensive.
Have you seen what Jamie Roach has put here? The dodgy looking mob you got on as guest will send everyone to sleep. Good luck with your first stream, mate. He watches my vids quite often, so yeah, he's a good laugh, Jamie.
but the 128, I used to import them in from Germany because they were way more popular in Germany, and you can pick up the 128 for about 100 quid or under about 18 months ago. So I used to get them in, and then like the keys, I used to just get rid of the German keys, get a NAT keyboard, swap the keys over so it had a British keyboard in, and sometimes you had to take a
Wheeler dealer.
So it was back into like English and not the German keyboard bit. So you just take that out, and then I used to sell them for like double the price. So there's always money to be made on the 128. That's what I used to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Should maybe start doing them, Scott, as well in the shop.
Yeah, definitely.
Start importing.
I mean,
Well, you got to fix those 30 odd you've got in storage, and we'll cut a deal.
Right, it'd be me Commodore 64 outlet.
Trying to convert him now, aren't you?
Right, shall we move on to our first topic?
Yeah, let's go for it.
And it's this. So, I'm sure everyone will be interested. I know I will be. What got you into micros, Scott?
So is this what got us back into micros back when we were nippers, or back into it sort of like in the hobby?
I'm thinking more when you first got one.
First got one is my dad. My dad was like really into Sinclair Spectrums. He didn't buy one until the rubber key, the 48K. We never had the ZX81. He went straight for the 48K. And I can remember it vividly because I think I'd had a fight at school or something bad had happened at school and I was upset. And I can remember my mum saying, "You wait until we get home. That's really going to cheer you up." And when I got home, my dad had this Spectrum 48K set up in the living room on like a writing desk. I'll never forget that desk because me and my sister used to sit under it and pretend we was in a car. And I can just remember him playing a game called Jumping Jack, where it's literally a matchstick man running across the bottom of the screen and you have to jump.
Oh, hang on, Paul's dying.
I know, sorry. I am a bit under the weather. I have been for ages, man. I'm just trying to shake off this virus or whatever. So, yeah, I might be coughing and spluttering away a bit.
But, yeah, no, the first game I ever see was Jumping Jack, which was extremely basic. You had to play it on keyboard, if I remember as well. There was no joystick control. And then my dad put in a game, 3D Death Chase. And then that was
Great game.
Completely and utterly mesmerized by that game. Yeah, a fantastic game.
Do you know, I love
15K game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's. But here's the weird thing, though. This has been released, so I'm sure with like 3 or 4 different covers.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is quite a later one. This is the Zeppelin Games release. But yeah, I'm sure it's 48K, and it's amazing what they can actually do with that.
It's crazy. It's such a playable game, and I still play it.
Yeah, still is now. Still is now.
It's a really good game. So that's my first sort of like memories, and from seeing Death Chase, that was it. I was hooked. Then Spectrum was in my life for many years, and after that,
Right, I like that. Although it was Spectrum. Oh, have we lost Scott?
No, I think what will be a running debate is that.
Oh, he's back.
Even though I had the Spectrum in my household, I had uncles that had Commodore 64s. My best mate that lived up the road from me had an Amstrad. My other best mate, he had a Commodore 64. So we got the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah, I mean, I had a mate that had a 48K, but I didn't really have much to do with that. But that's probably because I had the C64 and I knew it was better. But
oh, that's an early blow.
Don't worry, Lee. We'll educate you.
Right. Okay, Paul. What got you into micros?
So I was always quite an outside kid. I used to like playing football, and I was never in the house playing games. I had no interest whatsoever. But being in the northeast, the weather isn't always that great, and I remember absolutely lashing down this day, and we've been playing football. I went into my mate's house, and he was like, "Oh, my dad's got the computer set up," and I was like, "What's a computer?" And I'd seen the Pong sort of thing, and I just thought it was just absolutely shite. I was like, "Nah, that's not for me. I'm not interested." And he's like, "Oh yeah, we've got a computer like a couple of years ago." He's like, "He's set it up for us in my bedroom." And I was like, "Belter." So he goes upstairs, and his dad was playing. I'm pretty sure it was Impossible Mission. And it was the first time I'd heard, or Possible Mission 2, it was the first time I'd ever heard digitized speech.
Yeah,
and I was like, I was like, can we listen to that again? He's like, no, like, because you know it's unlimited lives, isn't it? So you've got to run out of time. There's like a time limit to the game. And oh my God, like it was just, I just loved that game. And then we played Platoon, which then that was the first time I'd really like heard the SID chip, the music, because obviously it was a Commodore 64, and I was just like, this is just absolutely amazing. Like I need one of these. And yeah, obviously I went home and absolutely badgered the hell out of my parents. and I didn't get one because I think it was quite close to Christmas, so I had to wait till the Christmas after. So obviously, basically every night for that whole year, I spent in my mate's house playing on the Commodore 64. And my first ever game that anyone ever got us was he gave us Golf, which is a cartridge game. So obviously I've got that again now. That was the first game he gave us that. And another one which I've just bought actually. Oh, I came the other day, but I can't remember where I put it.
Did Golf have speech, Paul?
No, it was just like...
I remember in the arcade, you talk about speech, and I'm just like, I remember hearing Golf and them sort of games in the arcades and hearing that synthesized speech.
Proper, like, yeah.
Like, wow.
But nah, it's... I think because that was like I think that was like an 81, 82 game. So that
was also on the VIC-20, that was as well.
Yeah, it was right on launch, so it was like really early in the life of the computer. Yeah, so that was it. I was just around his house. We just used to play Commodore 64 all the time. Like the amount of hours that we must have put into Platoon, like just trying to get off the first level. We only go on the tunnels like twice, you know. But yeah, that was it, and I was hooked.
Nice.
Yeah, that was me up until the PlayStation 1, basically.
So you had it all that time?
Yeah, it wasn't until I joined the army and the PlayStation 1 was out. I'd left it all at home and my mum gave it to my brother and that, and he wasn't really bothered because he had a PlayStation. I mean, are you going to play on a Commodore 64 or a PlayStation? Let's be brutally honest here.
Yeah.
So, especially at the time when one's new and one's like 15 years old or something. So, yeah, I don't know what happened to it. And obviously I'd left home and what have you, so it was gone.
It's only when you get older that you really appreciate it, isn't it? I found that out.
Well, if you ever ask the question, what got you back into micros, then
that's a very different question. Well, I think we've all got stories for that one.
Maybe we'll add that one straight after this then. Right, Si, what's your story?
Me, pretty much it was again from my dad. I've got 5 brothers, if you know what I mean. So the phrase that was always used in my house is if I've got to buy one, I've got to buy 5. So we never had the money to buy new computers or stuff like that. Until one day my dad just put a box out the loft and went, well, I remember buying this before he went into the Navy himself. And it was a ZX81. And it was I'm sure it was a 48K, the Plus, you know, the one with the actual keys. And he just set them all up. I mean, it was fun setting it up with him and like seeing the passion that he had. What's that?
Can I
just you coughing?
No, you say that's the Plus because it had keys. Did we expect it didn't even have
No, you know what I'm talking.
This is ridiculous. Obviously, the Commodore 64 is better.
Well, the ZX81 really didn't have keys, did it, to be honest? The cheapness. But yeah, it was just setting it all up with him and everything else. I remember we used to have it set up in like a little conservatory bit. So it's sort of like we loaded up the games. We were in there playing the games with my dad. And that's pretty much all we had until we got the Amiga 94, if you know what I mean. So, you know what I mean? We just, that's all we played on. I didn't even know that. I didn't know anyone with like a console or anything like that. All I knew was the Spectrum. My cousin did actually have the Amstrad CPC with the green screen. So that's the only other computer I knew about at the time. So, yeah, that's pretty much what got me into it. It was my dad and seeing the passion that he has had with it. And it's just passed on to me.
Yeah, no, I get that. When you do your videos, there's definitely a lot of nostalgia there. I get why now.
Definitely. I couldn't pinpoint one game. I couldn't pinpoint, you know what I mean? I remember my dad sitting there trying to code on the ZX81. And we were there as a kid. It seemed like forever. And he was putting all this code in, pressed a button, and all I saw was a line go across the screen. I was like, yeah, Dad, that's great. But he really enjoyed it. He remembers buying it and coding back when it came out. So that passion sort of passed on to me, really.
Nice, though, when you have memories like that, though, I think. Right, okay, so my one is a bit of a story. So I don't know if any of you have seen my video on this, but if you haven't, my one, how do I put this? It was probably glowing. Yeah. So basically what it was, as a nipper, I was about what, 10, I think, at the time. I lied about my age so I could do a paper round. And it was one of them ones, we used to deliver free newspapers.
Yeah.
Like, you had to deliver ridiculous amounts, like 200 or 300 newspapers for a
How
few
many did you
quid.
dump?
Actually, no, I didn't. But I did at one stage, and this was why I lost the round in the end. I was putting 2 through each door to get rid of them quicker. So I did do that. But yeah, so what happened was that was my only way of getting money, because obviously at that point we was a one-parent family. So, and a mate across the road whose dad, let's just say, was away a lot, which was code for in prison. He had this Commodore 64, and at the time I knew nothing about them. And he was going over there and playing on them, and he had the monitor, the bread bin, the printer, the disk drive, loads of let's say backup games. So loads of it. And for some reason he was selling it, and it was for a stupid price. I forget how much. I think it was about 50 quid, something like that. And so I badgered my mum, and she said, well, it's your money. If you want to get it, and it didn't really, I didn't really figure it out at this point. So
did you
I
get the
bought it.
lot for that, Lee, or did you?
Yes.
Or was it, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, but you'll see why though.
Oh, well, I mean, I've got an idea.
Yeah. So anyway, a little while later, his dad went away again, literally. And it's only when I got older that I realised that this thing was probably nicked out of somebody's house. So, because it was burglary that he was always getting put away for. So, some poor sod, probably a kid, probably had this robbed out of their house, and somehow it ended up in mine when I bought it. So, yeah, it was funny how he disappeared for probably about 3 or 4 months after I'd bought it. And he seemed to be in a real hurry to get rid of it. So you don't think of this at the time, do you? It's only when you get
I tell you
older
what, though, he must have had time stealing that to take the monitor, the printer, the disk drive. Yeah, that's not a light thing to pick up and take, is it?
I'll tell you a story about this guy, right? This guy was blatant, yeah? He got arrested at Christmas one year because he walked into Halfords, picked up, you remember them big BMX scooters you used to get?
Mm.
He just picked one of them up and walked out with it. And he got nicked for it and put away. And he nicked that for his son for Christmas. So if you think about it like that, if someone's just going to walk into Halfords and just walk out with that, they're going to hang around and take the whole lot, aren't they? So, yeah, he was pretty
Yeah, your dodgy dealings.
Not mine.
I was going to say, I think you got a steal, personally.
Literally. Yeah, I could have got done for handling stolen goods probably as well. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Any comments in the chat? Because I can't see any of them from this side.
I was just about to look at that, funnily enough. What we got here. Wow, it's moving so fast. Now I get what you guys are on about, and you're trying to keep up with. Oh, yeah. Someone's just put here Sonic on the C64. You covered that, didn't you, Paul?
Hell yeah, come on. Awesome game. It really is good fun. It's better.
I tell you what, though. The C64 is great. I'll say it now, the C64 has actually got some really good games for it. The fact that they've got Mario as well with the warp zones and everything else on the C64 is amazing.
Oh,
so yeah, it's just...
he don't even know how good it is. He's only just got it.
How long has he had one for? 2 weeks?
The thing is about the Amstrad CPC is it probably is the best out of the 3. It was just that was late to the market.
Yeah,
it's very lazy programming on it as well. Like, oh my god,
when it's programmed properly, it is a really advanced 8-bit.
Oh, it is now. I mean, what's that game? Are you're about to show it, aren't you?
Well, no. This is a different one. I've actually been. My next video is going to be on this game. And this is Pointless, which is like a shooter, side-scrolling shoot-em-up, space shoot-em-up. And it scrolls. Obviously, the colour palette is what you expect from the Amstrad. It has got the best colour palette as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Talking about the colour palette, right, when I said my cousin had the Amstrad with the green screen, that's all I knew. That's the game. That's all I thought the Amstrad was until about 2 years ago, and I got a SCART for my one, plugged it in and went, wow. Yeah, I mean, I'd only ever seen it in green screen, so to see the colour palette,
to have a color palette like that, and for most of them to be green screen is absolutely
Yeah.
criminal.
Well, you can see why they did it.
criminal.
Though it's a budget. It's budget, though, wasn't it? Really.
Oh, and sugar.
This is why the Spectrum, I think, is really, really popular for a lot of people. Yes, it may not be as powerful as a Commodore 64, but it got it into a price point that got it into people's homes. You know what I mean? It brought it down under £100, which was affordable. What was a Commodore 64 when it was out? Just out of interest, how much was a Commodore 64?
I think it was $149.99 when I got one. And I used to look at the catalogs, like, I mean, everyone else was looking at women in bras or whatever. I'm looking at how much the Commodore 64 is, and can I afford it this year?
Or how many shades of brown?
OSG.
But my view on the 64 and the Speccy thing is that on the Speccy, they knew the limitations of the machine, so they made games good for that machine. Whereas with the 64, because I think it did have a little bit more oomph and power, I think they tried to recreate arcade games as they were, and that's just never going to happen on an 8-bit. You know, I always find that the best games are the games that are made for the Commodore 64, not arcade conversions, just because they're made for the machine.
Yeah.
The way they pushed the Commodore 64 though is, if you look at Mayhem in Monsterland, that is what it was capable of. If you weren't trying to just do an arcade port, that is a stunning game. It really is. Have you got it there as well, haven't you? Have you got everything in that room?
But for me, the Commodore 64 is the best game. Is Sam's Journey, which was released in about 2018, something like that, and it is just.
Do you know, I've still not played that yet. I need to play that.
God. It's everything that you could want. I love it.
I've got to put this comment up, guys. Look, remember I said about the guy with the scooter? Look at this comment. I noticed Mr. Bear's in the chat. I did wonder if Retro Bear was going to turn up, because I know he likes his micros.
If he's watching, Russ, you need to get back to us, Russ, with the answer.
Wait, hang on. What's this? So Steve's put here C64.
Wow. 500. Yeah, that's what it was. This is the difference. Is Spectrum was affordable. Commodore 64 was like, oh, we'll save up for a year or so to get one.
The 64 was meant to be made for the masses. That was the whole.
The rich masses.
I just can't believe. Holy wow!
And you think with inflation today, how much that was? That is crazy, isn't it?
I mean, as I said, the ZX81 was sold for under 100. No, was it the ZX80 was sold for under £100, and the ZX81 was just over 100. That was his price point. That's why you look at the Spectrum and it's only got one screw holding the board down. It was doing everything to save money to just get it in people's hands and, you know, get it into the homes. So that's what I really love.
I find with the Spectrum as well is because it didn't have the graphical power. I like the graphics of the Spectrum. I like the detail.
Yeah.
I don't mind the monochrome colors and things like that. But I think that the designers of the games back then really put a lot of effort into the gameplay of a lot of the games.
Yeah, but not this one. Did you see the gameplay of this one the other day? It's rock hard, but you can't see anything. You know what I mean? I was playing it, but you can't see where you are.
Yeah, I think that's just rock hard on everything.
Yeah.
OSG was a good game.
I tell you what, it was a fun video to make the other day because I had to stop myself from swearing quite a lot playing it. But a few slipped it down.
I watched one of OSG's videos the other day, and it was it's the Nintendo fighting game where everyone, it's like you can play as all the characters.
Smash Brothers. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
That is coming to the Commodore 64.
Is it actually going to be on the Commodore 64, or is it going to be on the Switch in the style of the Commodore 64?
You can.
Can it run on actual hardware?
That runs on hardware.
Impressive. It really is impressive.
I can't believe it. They're saying it's only going to be 2-player because, like, to program in like the AI, you know, to fight.
Yeah.
So, but then they were like, well, who doesn't play this game in 2-player anyway? So
exactly,
it's going to be a 2-player. Well, I hope that.
See, I think the thing with this stream, right, is the fact that we've all come in. We're Spectrum, you're Commodore 64, but we can all appreciate things from each one. But what makes our computer our favourite computer is always going to be the nostalgia from what we had back in the day. That's just it.
Well, I mean, you're going to laugh. I mean, like, as you know, I've had problems with that Spectrum 128K I picked up, but when it has worked, it works 100% on the game Nifty Lifty. And I actually quite enjoy that game. It's very simple, but it's good.
I'm sure I was playing that the other day on something.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Isn't it one with elevators? As you're going to go
Yes.
across the screen, up and across the... Yes. The BBC Micro, that's what I was playing it on. I was playing it on the BBC.
I know you mentioned it at some point, yeah, because when I found
I'll tell
it
you what,
in the
though,
bundle, I was like,
If we are going to be talking now about like the BBC Micro and everything else, just remember that there wasn't just Spectrum, Amstrad, and the CPC. Almost forgot, that'll upset a few people. But yeah, the BBC was great. The Dragon 32, not so much. You know what I mean? I've got as well. This one always gets forgotten about, but the Texas Instruments TI-99. I mean, there's a few people had one of these, but I don't think people gave this the time of day that it deserves, because this is a very powerful computer.
Have you got the MSX? Sorry.
This one.
Hang on. I want one of them.
I want one of them as well.
The problem is that I always hate computers where like the power cable's hardwired in, because when you're trying to show them off on camera, you got this. The MSX I've got is the Sanyo MPC 100. That's the MSX I've got. So
I was reading something the other day, and they were saying that the MSX is the true predecessor of the Amiga. Because
I can see it. The MSX2. If you're ever going to get an MSX, go for an MSX2. It's a lot more powerful.
No, mate, no. I'm talking absolute crap. It was the Atari 800.
What else is new?
They were saying the Atari 800 was the true predecessor to the Amiga, because a lot of people left Atari to
did the full circle.
They did the full circle for Commodore. So, and a lot of these people had worked on the Atari 800. So they're saying like the true predecessor to the Amiga is the Atari 800 and not the Commodore 64.
It's interesting as well with the Atari is that they released an awful lot of micros, but where I grew up, not many people had Atari computers. I knew one.
I don't remember. The weird thing is I've got three now. I've got the 400, the 800 XL, and the XGS or whatever it is, the one with the keyboard that attaches. And I tell you what, the Atari 400 to me is the nicest looking one they ever made. It looks futuristic even now. You know what I mean? I was going to bring it to show it off, but maybe next time.
The only Atari I ever remember seeing as a kid was a friend of mine had the ST. Actually, this was the STE. Actually, it was the STE.
Yeah.
How can you tell the difference? Like, because I'd never know. Is it just what's written on it, or does it look different?
It's just written on it. They're all pretty much the same. Hang on.
There's something different inside, isn't there?
With the Ataris, it's literally just on the badge here, which tells you what they do. Some of them didn't have disk drives.
Really?
The 1040 ST is like the highest one before you got to the Falcon, and the Falcon is like stupidly expensive.
Is that just like memory?
Pretty much is memory. Basically, think of the other one as like the 500, and this is like the 1200 Amiga. Think of it that way.
Yeah.
Although, note though, if you're ever going to post one of these, be careful. That is the most brittle computer I've ever seen. Look at it funny, it'll fall apart.
Yeah, I've seen people retro bright them, and they get very fragile then as well.
Yeah. They're bad. They really are.
I've always been tempted to get one, but then I just think, is there any point when you've got an Amiga? Like,
no.
If we're thinking right, this is the Commodore 64 Spectrum. If you grew up with the Amiga, you'll always be the best computer. If you had an Atari ST, you'll have nostalgia for it. But the Amiga is still better.
I've got nostalgia for the ST, but the ST soon died a death for me because I got an Amiga to replace it. So,
do you know what I love about this though? Two rival companies, and you can link them together and play Stunt Car Racer and games like that on it.
I'll tell you what. Speaking of nostalgia, that kind of leads into the next bit, because we was going to go along and say how we got back into micros. So, Scott, what got you back into micros?
Well, obviously, it was once I sold up my Neo Geo collection many years ago, and I was going for the Sega sets. And And then I thought, do you know what? I need to get back into where I started, you know, because it started to become a real nostalgic thing for me, because collecting in the early days wasn't. I wanted to get everything that I never had. And then I thought, hold on a minute, it's the nostalgia that I like. So I got into Sega, but then it was kind of, I want to have a Spectrum again, because that was the first home computer I ever had. So it's kind of, it was like a natural progression, really, because I just faced nostalgia. So I had to put a Spectrum back in the collection.
Yeah,
Sorry, just answering the question.
We'll get to that. There was a conversation between you and Scott, wasn't there, the other day, but we'll get to that.
He said that. Both me and Scott have forgotten about this conversation.
That's so good. Hopefully, I'll be able to remind you a little bit. Oh, we've got Gaming Grandad here. So, Paul,
you feeling well, mate?
What got you back into micros, Paul?
You just wait until I put some chocolate in me mouth.
Sorry, mate. Sorry.
I'm a bit hungry. So yeah, I had an accident at work, and I'd hurt me. I got a trapped nerve or something in my back, and ended up being off work for it's like four or 5 weeks. By week 4, I was absolutely done in. I was on Facebook, and there was a Commodore 64 there for sale with the disc drive. I think it was like 50 quid. So I went on to eBay, had a look, and sure enough, it was like well cheaper than what I'd be paying on eBay, and I can pick it up, so it's not going to get wrecked because it was local. So I went and picked it up, took it back. Now I'd never had a disc drive when I had my Commodore 64. Only ever had tapes, so I had absolutely no idea how to load in a disc game, because I'd just never done it before. So obviously I googled it or searched on YouTube, and then just all these videos come up about Commodore 64 games and stuff, and I was just like, wow, how did I not know that any of this existed? And it just completely opened my eyes to the world of micros and gaming and collecting and everything. All of this would not be here if it wasn't for the fact I'd hurt me back at work and I bought that Commodore 64, because it did actually break down. I absolutely hammered it. It come with maybe about 100 discs, and they all had sometimes 8, a few games on.
Yeah.
And I was just going, because there were all copies that didn't have what was on the games. So the only way to find out was by loading them up and playing all the games, which I'd done for the rest of the time I was off work. And by that point, I was just completely sucked in to the Commodore 64. And yeah, that's when it broke down. So then I looked at how to fix it, where can I send it? Obviously, nobody fixes them. So that's when I started watching videos on how to repair, how to diagnose. I got myself the cartridge with the diagnostic harness and everything. And then I started looking for broken ones, because I thought this isn't that hard. Well, I used to just pick and choose easy faults, hopefully. But the ones I couldn't fix, as I say, I used to just keep for spares, and that was it. I was just.
And you still have them there?
Totally down the rabbit hole, and I can't get rid of them. even though I don't do repairs or anything like that anymore. I haven't got time. I really haven't got time to do that now. So it's all still there. But I just keep thinking, just come back to it. It's there. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that was me. I was totally down the rabbit hole.
That's Martin now.
Oh. Yeah, do you know what, Martin? No, I've never seen someone buy so many homebrew games so quickly. Yeah. But do you know what I liked about that though with Martin? Do you know when he was showing his little videos about when he first got it, and even he's saying the sound of putting the tape in, pressing it down and loading it brought back all these nostalgic memories to him, and that is the key though, isn't it? With all of these, no matter what it is or what computer console it is, if it gives you that nostalgic hit, you're hooked.
Yes, an addictive drug. Yeah.
I was just going to say, if nobody's seen Martin's channel, it's the Hobby Lodge. Definitely go and have a look at his journey, because I think I was on the swap shop and I had a Commodore 64 there, and he's like, I want that Commodore 64. It took me a while to get to him, but well, there was a few issues when it arrived. Your
repair skills need.
It was because I checked it so many times, and I was like, I wanted to make sure it was absolutely spot on. and I didn't plug the keyboard back in or something on the light, and so when he got
It
there,
was too far over, wasn't it?
he had to get stuck straight in, which I think I think he kind of enjoyed it. It was all just the experience for him.
I'm sure he's in the chat still. Let's have a look, because I imagine it still gets me. He's put here. Oh no, that's not it. That's the one. I see what you mean about it jumping, doesn't it? It jumps as you go to click on. Yeah.
I'll tell you another channel though, 8-Bit Retro Refix. You got to check his channel out, because all of us are sending something to him that's going to be fixed up.
Well, I'm not at the moment, but I dare say there could be a spectrum going to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be a spectrum going to him if I can't figure it out.
But it's funny, like what Martin said in that video, it's totally true, because I can remember, I think it was similar for me. I picked up a Spectrum bundle local, went and got it, and I just thought, I was still sort of like not convinced I'd keep it. But as soon as you load them tapes in and sit there and hear that,
just going to answer Gaming Grandad. I don't know anything about him. I made a short about this. I just wing it. I don't know nothing.
He's lying. He knows plenty. You wait till we get to that bit about the Electron. You and Scott, he was having a right little conversation, but we'll get to that. So what got you back into micros inside?
Pure and simple. I found one in a skip. That's pretty much it. Hadn't seen a Spectrum in about like 10, 15 years. And as I was walking home from my parents once, there was just one. It's actually down here. I wish I could show you, but there's other computers on top of it. And it was just sitting there on top, a couple of games. And yeah, just brought it back, and it just, all the memories come flooding back. And a couple of years later, found my original ones at my parents'. And yeah, just again, snowballed. And when it comes to the other micros, I have no nostalgia for them. I'm just like, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. You know what I mean? It just kept getting. I have cut down quite a bit on the computers that I've got. I did sell off quite a few. But as Paul said, it's like sometimes, especially when I got into it, people wanted Sega, Nintendo, stuff like that. Nobody wanted this stuff. You know what I mean? So they were giving it away. This TI-99, I'm sure I picked up probably about 5 years ago with a load of games and everything else. And the guy went, 25 quid posted. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, never seen one before. I'll buy that.
How much does it work outside?
Do you know? I actually don't know. I haven't looked into what they sell for now. They do actually do. They do actually do different models. They do one which is like a whole beige front and everything else. It looks more like an Amiga. But if we're talking about add-ons and everything else, this actually can have a voice synthesizer with it, and also so many more add-ons. There's a picture I'll have to put up on Facebook or whatever, where it's got like about a meter's long lot of add-ons, one after the other, after the other, after the other. So
you mean that was before the Sega Tower of Power then?
Oh, this is ridiculous, honestly. Scott, I'll send you the picture and you wouldn't believe what they did. I feel sorry for the computer, put it that way. It was being violated.
There's a lot of nostalgia in the comments here. I'm just reading through them. There's so many people are talking about, what they got and when they got it. And yeah, like, where is it? Is it this one? First one I got as a kid, it kept breaking. It was eventually replaced by a Specky, but it was great. I like the way he said it was replaced by a Specky, but it was great. Like he was surprised.
I'll tell you what, the amount of people though that had their original Spectrums broken and returned was ridiculous in the early days.
Yeah, I think you touched on that in a video, didn't you?
To save money, Clive actually bought broken RAM chips, so only half of them worked. You know what I mean? Well, half the chip worked. So
could be the problem I'm having.
Yeah. No, yours is a Alan Sugar special.
Oh yeah, that's a point. Yeah, good point. It does clearly say Amstrad on the board. You're right.
What was yours then, Lee?
So mine, if I'm honest, I think it was a couple of years after I'd got rid of my C64. I regretted it because I had a lot of games. I mean, like I was saying before, mine come with a disk drive and loads of backups and like hundreds, like you wouldn't believe. And like Paul was saying, you used to have like 5 or 6 games on each disc. And I let all that go. I got a lot more back for it than I paid for it. But I pretty much regretted it from a couple of years on from it. And then the bug came back watching Paul covering a lot of the homebrew stuff, and in games like Commando, you know, that music. The minute I heard that music, I was like, oh, I wish I still had my C64 because I loved Commando as a kid. The other game I enjoyed back then was also was it Ghosts and Goblins, or was it Ghosts and Goblins?
Nobody enjoyed that.
Ghosts. One of them. I enjoyed it. I did. It was hard, but you know, it was still a good game. But yeah, so it was really Paul that got me like massively. I've got to get one again, you know. Like, and originally I was going to get one off of you, wasn't I, Paul? But I found one in a charity shop, and so that was how that happened.
Tell you,
deal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was fantastic.
I found my VIC 20 in a charity shop, and I'd never seen a VIC 20 before. And I must admit, they're great computers. They really are. They're definitely not Commodore 64s. They're their own thing. Yeah. But if you've never played the VIC 20, you've got to. There's some great games for it.
I've got to be honest. It does interest me because I've never had a go on a VIC 20.
I should do a video of it soon. I know I'm doing a video of the +4 soon because I've got a homebrew game for that somewhere. Actually, I saw it here earlier.
Yeah, I've had a couple, but I never used to play them that much. So
yeah, so I've never played this game.
I've even got a VIC 20 game somewhere. I keep trying to get rid of it on the swap shop, but nobody wants it.
Most people probably don't even know what it is. That's why.
Out you say, anyway, Si, when are you sending these bloody games? While you're live.
I actually found that box earlier on. I was like, I held it up and went, "Oh shit, it's still in there."
Box. I'm looking forward. Is it Renegades?
Renegade I've got for you. Seriously, where did I put that box? I saw it. There it is. Hang on 1 second.
I'm looking forward to playing that on the spec.
Some weird games in here.
Tapes now.
Yeah, these are the Bum Thumb special games.
That's such a dodgy name, though, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Don't Google search that.
Well, you can Google search it. Just be careful. There we are. That's yours. Honestly, I forgot it was in this box. I really did.
Into it, yeah.
Oh, here's a weird one for you. Saving Kong, right? And I thought it was going to be a King Kong clone. You know, it's a shooter. So you got to shoot King Kong as he's going up the tower. So anyway, I'm just looking at more games now.
Right.
Carry on.
Let's go into our second topic. What have you been playing recently on your micros, boys? Scott.
Micro-wise, I've been playing. I must admit, I've been playing a lot of Spectrum Next. So it's been more of that really than classic Spectrum. I've got a load of games that I've just bought, which I showed in my last pickup video. I've got to load all them because I have to load all those games. But yeah, no, I've been mostly playing Spectrum Next.
And what have you been playing on there, Scott?
I have been playing Bikers Deluxe, which is absolutely.
Do you know what?
You
can't get that anymore. I've tried to get a copy of it. No, well, I don't want to get like you. I don't want to get the download. I want to get the physical game, and I just can't get it.
It's a great game. It plays just like Hang On. A great game. Another one I've been playing quite a bit just recently, actually, is Delta Shadow.
Great game. Honestly, I think one of the best games for the Spectrum.
That looks interesting. Really, I like the box art on that.
It's very NES, isn't it? Because
but the weird thing is, it is, but it also still retains the look and feel of a Spectrum.
Yeah, it mixes the two really well. And one that I was going to do a high score challenge with you on because you've done a video on it, Si, but QB. Yeah.
That's going to show that one off.
So yeah, I've been playing them most. There's one I got which I really can't get on with. You know, I'm not going to keep saying all the good games. This game I really didn't get on with.
See, I was looking to buy that after you saying it was no good. I was just like, I'll wait for the Rusty Pixel games to come out.
Yeah, it's really good value for money because it's two games on there. You've got like a text adventure, and then you've got this kind of quite basic puzzle game. And they're really not my type of game, so I'm probably being a bit harsh with it. But Yeah, no, that's been the one I've been most disappointed with.
What about you, Paul? What have you been playing on your micro?
Well, I've been playing Relentless on the Amstrad CPC.
Is that the shmup game that you've showed before?
This one here. So, yeah, I've been playing that.
That looks good, that.
Yeah, it is. It's a quality game. I haven't played any Commodore 64 this week. I think the last game I played on it was a bit of Platoon, actually. Still love that game. But I've also, I haven't been playing on the Next. I've been playing on the Ngo, which is a clone of the Next. I put it into a new case and what have you. I'm really happy with it. And today, I got stuck into that. And is it Warhawk? Sam?
Yeah, Warhawk.
Yeah.
Great game.
Been playing Warhawk, but I finished level 4, but then I found out it's only the demo that I've got.
Demo,
so
isn't it?
set to the beginning, so I was devastated.
Yes, you were lucky to get that with your Next, Scott. You really were, because you can't buy it at the moment.
No. And I did see on eBay they're going for ridiculous money if they have.
Yeah, I'll just wait. Just wait.
How much is it going for, Scott?
I think the last one sold for about 50 quid when it's only $17.99.
Yeah, the thing is that they're going to redo them. It's just they were waiting for the next Kickstarter to come out. Plus, they got a couple more games to come out, so they didn't want to. Basically, whoever wants to buy one with the first Spectrum Next has pretty much already bought them. So why make more until there's more computers? People, I do as well.
So are you playing it on download then, Paul, or is yours like a demo?
So the games all come even when you get one of their physical games on a memory card.
Yeah, like
the one I've got, the memory card I've got, it's in. So there's one of them in the operating system or whatever.
Yeah, your operating system's on it, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just it's in one of the files there under games, under Next Games. So really enjoyed that. And I was playing Pentacorn's Quest. I can see in the background Size being played because I did
great game
of me playing it today.
So you know what?
Go back to that game. I need to go back. When Si done his first video, I jumped straight on the site.
Did you know?
I finally got one.
Do you know where? Do you know where I died on it though? Where I died on this game, just after the warp zone, there was all the spiked plants everywhere.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get past that bit in the game for ages. Not only do you have to jump on the platforms to deactivate all the spikes, you've got to jump on them in the right order. And if you jump on them in the wrong order, you get stuck in a corner and you got to just die, start over again. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a difficult game, but a very addictive game.
I'm not up to that yet, but because you can every game that you buy, you get a digital download. Well, or a lot of them you do. So I've got all them saved on my laptop. So now basically every homebrew game I've ever bought is now on the Next.
Don't forget as well, you can also actually load directly from tape and save it onto your SD card.
Because if you remember when I found this game in a box, I still haven't played it because I still need to get a tape player. I need to get tape player.
Oh, you don't have a tape player?
And
I would love to see what that game actually is. Because I'd still say that's something special.
It's green with a bar going across, and I think you're the ghosts, and you play as the ghost, and you actually got to try and get Pac-Man.
Yeah,
but it's not a Pac-Man clone.
Take it out the actual case. Show everyone the actual cassette itself, because it's not just the cover they've done, but they've also done the front of the tape as well, haven't they?
Yep, they've done this is all hand drawn.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty certain that this is a one-off. That's a one-off tape. That's the side that's when you're making a demo
and sending it in, aren't you?
Yeah, and this is the inlay for what they wanted for the design. Jesus Christ, I'll be able to work this out soon. So that would be on there. Sort of thing.
Yeah, it really is. I think that is definitely a lost Spectrum game.
And then you've got all the controls. You've got the story, the intro, and it's all hand drawn. It's all hand drawn,
isn't it? The effort that's been put into that is great.
So
that's what a lot of them were, though. A lot of them were hand drawn and sent in just for hopes that somebody was going to, take their game and put it on their label, didn't they? So,
got a question here for you, Paul.
Yeah, I know where he's going with that. I got I can't remember, I think someone left a comment on the video that I did about it, and they were like,
"Oh yeah, I remember that."
Why didn't you do that? And I was like, it was like a 9-minute video. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be talking about the next for like, I don't know, the next few years. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to have it a long time, so I'm cover all these things. But yeah, someone
didn't you call him a fanboy?
No,
or was that a different one?
That was another one. It was telling us about how bad it was, etc. And I was like, look, you're obviously just a fanboy, so it doesn't matter what I say, you're just not going to accept it. The fact is, I like it, you don't. That's it. Whatever.
I do like the next. I really do.
Never got back to me. In fact, he liked me.
Oh, it's a shame.
Pandori's saying that you should do a backup of it, Paul.
Yeah, well, that's what I want the external tape player for, so that I can put it load it into the next, and then I can save it as a TAP file or TXP or something.
And then you can just download that to anywhere and get it saved.
I can put it on the computer. I can send it to whatever, or I can do what I want. I even found the name of the guy who made it and everything. I found him on Facebook, sent him a message. Probably thought I was stalking him. Never got back to me. But I'm pretty sure he works for Harley Davidson in Leicester.
Wow.
And I got it from a guy called Fob, who used to be on the Swap Show quite a bit. And I'm pretty sure he's from Leicester.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So it kind of matches up. I'm like,
I must admit, you thought it was just a copied tape to begin with, though, didn't you? Because I think that's how it came to you, in a bunch of like copied,
but
pirates.
I saw that there was some. I thought what it was people had lost the covers for games and they'd made their own, which is like what all of them were. But I was just really interested in them. Like I don't know, I just found it interesting. And then it's been under the stairs for like probably about 6 months. And my wife was like, "Are you going to sort that box out?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." So basically, I went through the box, found that, and now I've put the box back under the stairs, minus that tape.
One tape came out of it.
One tape got sorted. That's it.
So what about you then, Si? What have you been playing? As
I said, the Pentacorns quest, as you can see, I have. It's one of these ones now. I can get to that part of the level without losing any lives now, and sort of I know where I'm going, but it's the classic 3 lives, you're dead, or 4 lives, whatever it is. You got to start over again. I can do it where I can save it on the next, but if I want to play this game, I want to play it properly. You know what I mean? I want to get better at it and get further, and save states to me do feel like cheating.
Yeah, they do to me. Yeah.
So if I'm going to do it and complete it, I want to complete the game.
Well, I don't know how you do that on the next. I've got no idea.
I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you because I've emulated a couple of the Spectrum homebrew games on my Power Kiddie, and I could save state on them, but I'm the same as you. It does feel like cheating.
You're constantly like, I've got a bit further, save, got a bit further, save. If you don't have that fear that you're going to die and start all over again, you're like, you're a bit lazy with the game. Yeah. But if you know that you have to start from the very beginning again, you sort of like, you're more careful. Yeah. Games I've been playing now. I was playing quite a bit of Hero on the Spectrum, and you know what? If anyone knows Hero, it's a really good port of this.
It's great, yeah.
And a game that I come back to all the time. Oh, there you go.
Oh, guys, I'm just putting on because someone in the comments said the WH Smith's tape player.
Yeah, they did.
That's a good one. That one. Yeah. Isn't that supposed to be like bulletproof, but yours doesn't work?
Well, I bought it off a reputable dealer on. I'm not going to name the group. And me being me, I didn't take it out of the box for months to even test it, and it needs servicing. Yeah. The thing is I'm laughing, but I paid a fortune for it, so I shouldn't be laughing. I should be crying.
So I'm sure I've got one of them as well, but I need to get and do the belts on it. I know it's the belt because. You put it on and it starts off fine, and then as you listen to it after like a couple of seconds, it's just getting slower and slower as the belts are going. But other games I've been playing though is I'll always come back to Jetpack
What
It's
a
just
game.
a game that you can load up any day, give it a game, give it a play. And if we get down here, just it's the one of the boxes of homebrews. So we've got. If you are going to play some homebrew games now, I highly recommend getting the Mr. Hare trilogy because I've been playing these quite a bit, and they're from where you can get them from Bitmapsoft.
I was going to say it's Bitmap. I was looking at them.
Yeah, and they are really good games. The first one is a platformer. The second one really improves on the platformer, and you can also play as a fly. And the third one is a shooter. So it's a good mix of different games, and I'm sure as well they've even ported this over to the PC with like extended levels. So a really good series to get into. I highly recommend Mr. Hare and the Fly, or
I definitely want to
Mr. Hare in general. So that's pretty much what I've been playing.
I've been looking at them myself on Bitmap. They do look quite interesting. Them.
Yeah, I highly recommend.
See, for me, what I've been playing, and I showed this on the swap shop the other night, because Lee kind of like stole my question, was this game here. And as you know, I'm a big fan of this game. Man Cave.
Oh, Man Cave.
64.
Quality theme tune.
Love this game.
The music is just amazing.
Yeah.
Still never played it.
If anyone hasn't got this, they got a Commodore 64. Get yourself out to Cytronic and grab this. The music
before
like
Martin takes them all.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if Martin's got this one yet. If he hasn't, he should.
No, I think he's going for the disc. I think he's going for the disc games now, isn't he?
Yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, with that, the other thing I like about that is the story to it as well. That the kids have stolen all these dirty magazines, and he's trying to get them back. And that's it. Yeah.
Someone's just put in comments. Sorry, is there such a thing as homebrew on the spectrum?
No, not at all. Not one. Not.
Watch our channels.
Yeah. There's a lot of Spectrum homebrew. Lots. More on Spectrum than anything else, I'd say.
Yeah.
Say that though, Chronosoft the other day actually have released another Mattel Aquarius homebrew game. So I mean, even consoles. God, I'm sounding like Lee, Retro Chef.
Oh, plastic.
Even computers like that. There's even a couple of Dragon 32 homebrew games as well, which I've seen.
Now that is dedication, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Hobby I've got 25 of their games. He's just put there.
I've got a few.
What I was saying about Man Cave. The other thing is the things between the levels when it comes up saying a good wife always forgives her husband when he's done wrong. It's them little messages in between. I love that. That's what comes up between the levels. It's funny. This is such a good game. Right, okay. Let's have a look at what the next topic is. Okay. Have you bought anything micro recently? Scott?
Yes, I have. I've bought this, and because obviously I'm a Spectrum guy, I've only got limited space. I can't go down the rabbit hole of starting buying Commodore 64 games, so I got myself one of these off Retro Refix. This is absolutely perfect, nothing wrong with it. But as we were talking about earlier in the stream, I hooked this up to my Commodore 64 and it doesn't work. So there's something wrong with my 64. So gutted, because there's so many. I have a lot of nostalgia for the Commodore 64 because my best mate had one. So there's an awful lot of games I want to play. There's loads of games like that Paul always recommends, and I'm just like, I want to play these games. So hopefully I can get that sorted. And then this is a game I bought a while back, but it's sat in the box, and I've not had a chance to play it properly. And that's this game. It is Redshift.
Well.
Now, I done a video on Warhawk, and I was saying how great that game was on the Spectrum next. And someone in comments said, get Redshift. It beats Warhawk. It's an absolutely fantastic shooter.
Is that Commodore 64, is it?
No, this is Spectrum.
Okay, I'll need to...
You need to get it, sorry. It's fantastic.
Where's it from? Sorry.
It's Bitmap Soft.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
have
think
to.
I
Do you know
saw
what? I've fallen behind in my buying of homebrew games.
Yeah.
So
Well, I bought this quite a while back, and I played it when it first turned up, but I put it back in the box and kind of forgot about it. But when I put this in, this is a really good game, a really good shooter.
I think I've lost mine.
Runs so smooth, and the speed of it is unbelievable. It's really good.
Look at that. Still sealed. Still sealed.
I'll put it on camera. Go on.
I'm waiting to do a video on it. No, I'm going to do a video on it eventually. Well, sometime a collaboration.
Lee, I was. Do you know the other day you said you got more TV care and there was another game on the back of it. I've just found my copy. It was in the box hidden behind the computer. I looked for this all day the other day, and it's turned up when I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah,
Did not know there was a second game on this.
yeah, I've got a funny story about that when we get to it. Yeah, because I found that by accident. Yeah, where was we? Paul, what have you picked up recently for a micro?
Well, not much really, to be quite honest. I've got a homebrew. I've bought some homebrew, but it's not here yet because of what's going on in the real world. So yeah, that's not here. I don't know if it'll even come, but anyway, that's not really important. And yeah, I've got a hit squad game, so I've added another hit squad to the collection. Nobody knows anything about it, but it's I really.
Is it a big one?
It's one I've been after a while, but it's probably not in like the big three.
So video incoming, yeah.
Nah, well, that's the thing. I can't really make a video about one hit squad game, So
just slip it in. Do a short.
I either just got to leave it, or put it in with like a channel.
No, you can't, because like Scott, you're doing the final countdown now. How many have you got left?
I think 13. I think
there you go. You've got to do the final countdown video.
You've got to do the final countdown of that.
Yeah. In fact, hold on. Let me just have a look at him, because I might just be talking. I've got a note so that I know which ones. Right. So to complete the spectrum, I need Nightbreed, Darkman, Castlemaster, Badlands, Space Gun, and SSI. And for the Amstrad, Badlands, Pit Fighter, Skull and Crossbones, Nightbreed, Simpsons, Darkman, Adam's Family, and WWF. So I've got some quite big ones on the Amstrad. And the Spectrum, there's like 3, and the rest I reckon as possible, but there's 3 that's
doable.
Really, really hard.
3 that you've got to wait for someone to sell their set to get.
There's been 2 games I've come up with. I've missed out on both of them on eBay, but there's always another one. You know what I mean? Like I used to be like really wanting them, but now I'm just like, nah. I'll just sit back, bide me time, and get it when it's the right price for me. It ain't going anywhere, But no, apart from that, I bought some new headphones, but obviously that's not 8-bit. I got
it's on an 8-bit stream. It counts.
How many sets of headphones you got now, Paul? I know that gets discussed. By some
well, no, that's another very, very well-known channel.
Yeah.
Dwarfs the amount of subscribers I've got. But anyway, no, I've just got. I use my AirPods, and I've got my old headphones which don't do jack now, so I need to get rid of them. And yeah, Pete on a retro tip, he recommended these, and I really, really like them. Other than that, I don't know if the Ngo class is counted as 8-bit, but yeah, obviously I picked one of those up. But that's it, really. Nothing substantial, I wouldn't say. I've been putting my funds into other things.
I've got to say, I do like that Ngo case you've got. I thought that looked really nice once.
That looks really nice.
It's solid. It's solid. The keyboard, if for anyone who's watching who is interested, the keyboard is really good. But
I tell you what, though, the rubber key one that you got, it looked like somebody had butchered that with like a fucking bread knife.
Yeah.
It's like the ports on the back of it. It's like we can't see it in the light properly, but it really is. If somebody just went, there's a port there, just make a hole. That'll do.
You might be able to make that
a hack job.
Yeah, proper.
Yeah.
They actually sell cases now pre-cut with them, so.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, you know, it still worked fine, but after putting it in the other case, I don't know. I don't like them keyboards. It's just, I know everyone was used to them back
It's
in
a
the day, but
nostalgic thing, isn't it?
know,
You know, the
everybody-
rubber keys.
I haven't got the
The
nostalgia.
Engo in that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think Alex is after an Engo. So if he gets a board, I'm going to send him that down because if he's happy with that,
That's
then
if he does that. He really wanted the Spectrum, the next, didn't he? And had it for like a week and went, no, I don't like it.
But like for him, there was no nostalgia there. And
Yeah.
if it was inside of the 48K case, they might be able to get away with it because you
Yeah.
could just play Spectrum 48K games if you really wanted to. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Play them all day, and the instant loaders. So it would be really good for him, maybe.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But yeah, that's pretty much that's all the board. I've got some spare parts to hopefully fix the iMac, which means I'm going to be able to do like longer like voiceover videos, which is what I want to do, but I can't do them on my iPad because I ain't got enough RAM, so it just runs horrendous. But I got an iMac and it didn't work, and it took a while to kind of figure out what's wrong with it. So I had to pump quite like some cash into it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully by Friday that should be sorted. So, and then I'll be able to get to work on. Well, I know Scott knows what it is, but nobody else does. But I want to get to work on me on my next project.
Yeah, I enjoy your voiceover videos. They're really good.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's honestly, I've got some good advice from this guy about how to do them, and just keep practicing or just keep seeing it over and over again, and then it'll just come out naturally.
Yeah,
It's massively helped. Like because before you could tell I was I could tell I was reading it, and if I can tell, other people can tell. And
of course. Yeah.
it got to the point where I don't know, it just kind of felt natural when I was saying it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I was really happy with it.
So, what have you picked up recently then, Si?
Recently, actually, nothing really since before Christmas. But I have showed this off already, and I'm going to show them off again. What I did pick up is these more. See, I said Mortis, but it's not. It's Moritz. You know what I mean? Be dyslexic brain. These Spectrum games in the tin, which I just think are absolutely
I like them. Yeah.
amazing. I mean, I love this one though. It's like the Autobahn one, but that's just like the cover of Kraftwerk, isn't it? So
yeah,
it is. Yeah,
and all the extra bits in them, and these are such good games. This one here, the High Density, I think was a really, really good shooter. And you can pick your levels that you want to play in it as well. Like you can do it as just like an arcade mode or do missions and stuff like that, which is great. Unfortunately, this one, is it this one?
Sorry, I've just written that.
That?
You lads probably don't know who Wearside Jack is. Although you might. No, you have Jack, so go on.
I was going to say, unfortunately, this one just does not work. I think it's been loaded on wrong. So I haven't actually got a chance to play that one. And there was an alternative to the Autobahn one cover, which I think the other one's nicer. So for Spectrum games, I mean, nobody else has done tins like this, and you can see why, because the price that he must have, how much it must have cost him to do all this is ridiculous.
So are they on
the
website? Can you buy them? Is there a website to buy them?
No, he hasn't. He keeps on saying he's going to do it. But you got to think the person who's done this he's passionate about his Spectrum games and everything else. He's moved on to an Amstrad one. But when it comes to selling them, he's just like, he can't bring himself to sell them. He thinks everyone's going to think they're rubbish. But they're not. You know what I mean? These are some... Oh, I'm losing my earphone here. Hang on. These are some amazing games. But, yeah, he just won't. He thinks... there's a guy who was shipped a load of these in the UK. And he said he's just got 3 or 4 boxes of them, but nowhere to sell them. So, it's a shame.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind them.
I'd love it.
I was going to say, I'm sure all 3 of us here would definitely buy them.
Oh, yeah, they look fantastic. It's not everyone that does games in a tin like that, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a few other ones as well. They're great. Obviously, the Bum Fun games as well. And I was also given this Saboteur Deep cover. Unfortunately, I think the guy who programmed this died. Was it 2 days ago?
Oh my!
Really?
Very well-known guy in the Spectrum community. He did the Confessions of a Spectrum Addict. Was it that guy? God, his name's just left me. But yeah, Crowdosoft at the moment are selling his last 3 games that he's made, and this is one of them.
I was looking at that the other day, that one, because that's like.
See, these are great, but the problem is these are text adventures, and I'm dyslexic. This was gifted to me, and I'm gonna have to keep this safe now. So
yeah, I was looking at it the other day, and it showed you like some of the screenshots, and it says text adventure on it.
Yeah. I didn't just drop my Spectrum next on the floor, honest.
Is that you done, Sire, or have you got anything else?
That's it. That's me done.
Right, okay. Right, so I'm going to show what I got recently, and that is a couple of Spectrum games.
Lee, I'm just going to have to dip out for a minute. I'm just going to check the kids are actually in bed. I'll be back in a second.
Oh, no worries. So, yeah, I bought a couple of Spectrum games recently, obviously, because I recently purchased a 128K, and I picked up More T Vicar. Now, this one, like I said, has a story. So, the reason Si didn't know there was a game on the other side, and I didn't either, was because the Burks put the label that says, you can see there, More T Vicar, on the wrong side of the tape. So when I loaded it up expecting More T Vicar, I got Dead or Alive, which is a second game that they obviously put on the other side. So I turned it over, More T Vicar on the other side. So when I said to Si about it, it was like, I didn't know there was another game on there. So, and obviously neither did I until then. So that's that one. And I couldn't get this to work on the Spectrum because obviously I'm having issues with it. But I have been emulating it on the PowerKiddy V90. And it's a good shmup, but it's hard. I'm not going to lie, it's hard.
What one's that, Lee?
More T Vicar.
More T Vicar.
Yeah, so you're meant to be a vicar in a spaceship, and the idea is he's meant to be spreading the religion, you know, and you got just like a normal shmup, really. But
I've gone past that because of the title, because it's called More T Vicar. I'm like, oh, what's that about?
Yeah, the only reason I got it, I think, was because Si did a video on it, so I knew it was a shmup. So, but yeah, I could see why you probably would. You wouldn't know it's a shoot 'em up, but yeah, it's all right. It's the weapon that you have is a little bit underpowered, so it's quite difficult. But
yeah,
but one I did enjoy that Paul featured on his channel is Xenoblast, and this loaded up really well. And I love the colour of the tape as well. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a see-through green colour. It's really nice.
I've actually got a sealed copy of that in my shop.
Check that out.
Good game.
That's
yeah,
good.
see. Yeah, it's funny that because More T Vicar, I showed it, and I think his one was yellow or red or something like that. Mine More T Vicar's purple. So they obviously use different colour tapes for whatever.
Yeah, mine's purple.
So, but yeah, they're Chronosoft games for anyone who's wondering, and they were £6 each, I believe. So,
now, More T Vicar, the memories that brings back for me is when my granddad used to fart, he used to say
More T Vicar.
I just don't know what that's about. It must have been off a TV show or something, I guess.
A mate of mine's dad, he was in the army, he used to say the same thing. So yeah, there's got to be some connection there. I'm just going to have a look at the chat. There's a few comments.
Back in the room.
Oh, is that his name, Si? Andy Remick?
Amiga.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah, that's him.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's him, unfortunately.
Mine's green.
Yeah, same colour as mine, isn't it? It's all right. We was working out that different colour, they use different colour tapes for the games. So Paul's got Xenoblast with a purple. I've got it
are these all Chronosoft?
Yes.
Yeah. The reason why they all use different coloured ones is because he just uses what's ever to hand.
That's what I thought.
Right,
yeah.
I'm not lying. I've got Chronosoft games here that are on like 90-minute tapes.
Yeah. Oh, we got Hobby Lodge, Turrican and Turrican 2 arrived today on C64. Great games. Yep. And then Amiga old school. Love both.
Look, this is Bob Smith WHB. than this Chronosoft, but look at. Can you see how much actual tape's on there?
Wow, that's
yeah.
That's how much.
God.
That's how much is used, and that's how much is extra.
Wow.
So.
Right, so old style gaming. What's wrong with your Spectrum E? What model is it? There's a model that's renowned for being crap after Amstrad took over. I've got it.
That one.
Yeah,
That one.
it's the one I've got. It's the 2+2A. Yeah,
I work sorry.
The black one in it. I tell you what, though, Scott, you've got a good story about the amps, not the amps, the Spectrum +3, haven't you? Did your parents sell a different computer and get you a +3?
Well, my dad obviously he went from the 48K rubber key to the 48K plus. Then he got us the 128K toast rack, which I
very sought after now.
Loved it. And then one day I got home from school to find that was gone, and the majority of my games, and he had replaced it with a Spectrum +3.
Ouch.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think at the time you thought it was an upgrade, didn't you? It's like faster loading times and everything else. You didn't know that was going to be like the most sought after Spectrum you could get, though, is it really?
No. And at the time, I remember the panic in the fact that I didn't realise for a while, actually, that you could hook a tape deck up to it. So I thought I could only play disc games.
Could you get games then? Or was it like write protected, or was that just not a thing? Like,
no, I'm sure you could get copied ones.
Yeah, no, you could. You had to have an interface to do it, if I remember right.
Yeah, but they were always on that really odd-shaped disc, though, weren't they? That Amstrad used on everything.
Yeah.
They're really narrow, thin, like discs.
Yeah,
because that's what they used on my Amstrad, my cousins on. So.
Yeah, they were weird discs that were on that. But yeah, you saying about the tape deck to it. I mean, it basically is a 2A board, isn't it? It's exactly the same board on the +3. Basically, all they've done is switched out the tape deck for a disk drive.
The black +2, is it?
Yeah, +2A. It's exactly the same, just a tape deck.
I mean, that's the one I use all the time, to be honest. It's what's set up here. The one that I found in the skip is actually a grey one, which is like, I think is kind of the more sought after one, the one straight after when Amstrad took it over, because all it is a toast rack in a new case with a cassette deck.
Yeah.
You know, I actually had the grey one and I got rid of it for the black one simply because I just like the look.
It's black. Yeah.
I think, it looks
I think most people do.
Yeah. But the other thing is the board set out different as well, isn't it? All the RAMs will set out different on the grey one.
Yeah.
You got less chips in the +2A, haven't you?
The thing is, if you look at all the Amstrads, right, the Amstrads originally, the CPC, started off with a massive full board like this. And if you look at the last model that came out, it's like just a small bit in the corner. There's hardly anything inside them. Yeah, they are the biggest computers you can get. So
yeah.
Right, well, we're going to be talking about this.
Yes, and that is next. So let's go to that. Now, this was obviously a conversation in our WhatsApp group for this stream, and Scott and Si started talking about this. And I immediately said, whoa, keep it for the stream, because I don't know if everybody knows this. I know I didn't.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting conversation.
The BBC, well, obviously, a lot of people know this, but the BBC was made for the schools. They won the contract to actually put these into schools. It's why it's got the BBC name on it. Have you ever watched the Micro Men? If you haven't watched the Micro Men, really go and watch it. It's a good watch. I mean, I still watch it like once a year or something like that. It's got a good nostalgic feel to it, that movie. It just has. But at the time, this was in the schools, and everyone thought, oh, you know, that's just the computer we use at schools. But the Spectrum was actually dominating the home market. So instead of making their computer better, which they should have done, Acorn decided to cut it down. So this is basically a cut down BBC for the home. But where this failed is, by the time this got to the market, the Spectrum had thousands and thousands of games, whereas this really doesn't have very much support in it. It is a shame, though, because it's a really nice computer, proper keyboard.
That looks really clean as well. There.
The interface on the back as well. You can plug so many things into this, and you could stack it up again. So there's so many different ones coming out the back of it. Hang on, let me reach over it. This one is one that actually came in. A lot of them came in the mailer box because they supplied so many, but they overstocked the warehouses, and I think that did they miss the Christmas period, if you know what I mean, where everyone wanted one, so they got lumbered with them, and this is pretty much what killed the Acorn off as a company. But the chips in it, or the architecture, or whatever, were used in so many different computers, consoles, mobile phones, everything for years to come. They were still using the architecture for the chips for the Acorn.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, guaranteed your mobile phone that you got now has got some connection if you trace it back to the Acorn.
Mate, you should see how many things run on like the Motorola 6800. That's like the Mega Drive, the Amiga. There's so many consoles that run with that one chip.
If you are, a little tip though, if you are ever going to get one of these, do not ever pair it up until you've sorted the caps out of the power supply. It will explode. I told my mate this who had one in the shop, and he said, no, it's fine. He said a week later, he brought it back because there was smoke coming out the top of it. Some people really should listen, shouldn't they?
Jesus.
And also get yourself the BBC to IEC, so all the games load straight off the SD card. Great computer to have, really is.
Well, I mean, that Electron, I mean, someone I know, probably about, I think, how long ago was this? Probably about 30 years ago. Probably about 30 years ago, someone I know had an Electron, and it was in a worse shape than your one is now.
Well, I think mine had just been boxed up for years, to be honest. I know this is going to sound like a really silly thing, but I like how the polystyrene works on these boxes. And that sounds really odd, but that's what comes in the box. And instead of opening at the top and taking the lid off, it comes off at the top here, and everything's stored nice and neat in it that way. So it's really well protected.
Yeah.
And like I said, games come in your cases, like your tapes like this, and
it's
hell of a manual.
If your game got a BBC, you were in detention in primary school.
So will all your BBC games work on that?
No, not all BBC games will work on this because it just hasn't got enough like RAM storage or whatever in it. There are games that will run on both, but they're the ones that would run on a bit. It's like all. What's that?
You need to build an extension in your house to buy a BBC.
You do.
That is one hell of a computer, isn't it? It's massive.
It is. That's why they came with the desks that came. You had your monitors on top, and the BBC slid right underneath it. But yeah, at school, how many people remember? What did I say? Granny's Garden was the game they always used to play at school.
Yeah.
Anybody in the comments remember Granny's Garden?
I remember one about a shop. You owned a shop or something, and you had to like buy and sell. It was obviously a math game.
It was a math one, wasn't it? Yeah.
See, I obviously missed out on all this at school because the only computers I remember was secondary school, and they were RM Nimbus.
Yeah.
Remember them?
Yeah.
I mean, they were crap. Like
my senior school had Apricot computers.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Apricot, like. Right. Yeah,
that's the BBC. There's some great games on it though. There really are. If you ever want to play Thrust needs to be played on the BBC Micro. Oh, actually, I do have another story about
this is why I love Psy.
Which you might not know. Do you know a game called Exile? Is Exile the one where you the space guy go around? Right, that game was coded for a BBC, but using an Acorn Electron. And when he finished coding it, he opened it up and he put a note inside to say that he coded that game on this Acorn Electron. So somewhere out there is an Acorn with the guy's note inside that nobody's found yet. So if you've got an Acorn, open it up and have a look inside.
Unfortunately, I bet it's ended up in a stick somewhere or something.
Probably has.
Yeah.
But then again, they found that the Spectrum prototype board, though, didn't they? Just found in the back of a shed, not a shed, a cupboard, a factory.
Yeah, it was about a year.
That's in the computer museum now. That is.
So
It could still be out
was
there.
that then? What was the prototype board? What was that going to be?
Basically, it was one of the last revisions, so everything on it works. But it's just, you get the boards where you can put a load of chips in anywhere and you wire it all up by hand. And there was a keyboard attached to the front of it, and it literally just folds over in half like that. And it's in the Cambridge Museum, or it's in some computer museum at the moment. So
I wonder if it's the one
definitely
that
worth
Rob
checking out.
I wonder if it's
The
the
one
one
that
that Rob went to, because he hated all them.
You will never convince him that either is any good.
No.
He hasn't played Sam's Journey yet. Keep saying to him, that's the one you need to try. If he doesn't like micros after he's played Sam's Journey, then give up.
Right, okay, let's move into our last topic. And that is, what's your favourite homebrew game? Scott.
You guys have already said them, haven't you?
I have.
That's a tough one. I've played some really cracking games. I would have to say, though,
you're doing the same as me, Paul.
The simple fact that it was Paul's video that got me into this game. He showcased this game, and I managed to get it digitally download it because I couldn't get the physical release. But I played this game until I finished it. This is how good it was, and that's Travel Through Time.
Travel Through Time.
Yeah,
another one that I can't get hold of either.
I told you you'd love it, didn't I? Can you remember? I was saying you have to play this game.
You did. Paul kept saying you're going to love it, Scott. You're going to love it. And do you know what? I sat there all day, and when I finished it, there's like an Easter egg where it opens up another part of the game, and I was mega excited, and I finished all that.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that throughout the day, and you'd disappear for 45 minutes, come back and go, I've got through 2 more levels.
Yeah. And it is just an absolutely amazing coded game. I never thought I'd ever see a racing game like that on the Spectrum. It's absolutely brilliant.
Sorry, you see what chefs, but
yeah, he's talking about how Cy keeps talking.
Don't worry, Cy, you talk as much as you like, mate. I like your stories. So, Paul, favourite homebrew game?
Well, I really wanted to choose 2 because, one I think is just brilliant on the Commodore 64, and the other one isn't a game you can get on the Commodore 64. It's only you can get it on the Spectrum up to now so far, but that might change. But my favourite Spectrum homebrew game, because you probably, I don't know, if you know me, you know that I love Aliens. It's probably one of my favourite films ever. And for me, on the Spectrum, still, even though Travel Through Time is just superb, because of my love for Aliens, it's Aliens Neoplasma. This is, I think this was released in 2019, and it's just absolutely great. It's the Aliens game that you wanted to play back in the day on your Spectrum, or definitely on your Commodore 64 as well. It reminds me of Alien 3, but it's it's a lot more forgiving. There's no time limit, and it just plays like an absolute dream. It really is great fun. I love it. But for the Commodore 64, this is probably, I'm pretty sure this could be the first homebrew game I bought, and this is what got me into homebrew. And I just couldn't believe what I seen when I seen Sam's Journey, and just how amazing it is. It is just, it's just the best platform sort of puzzle game. Honestly, the graphics are just superb. It plays a dream. The controls are perfect. I made myself a NES control pad, but I rewired it for a normal joystick, and I've doubled up. I think it's button 2 with jump, so it means I can press, instead of pressing up to jump, I can just press a fire button. And then you've got the other fire button is what your weapon would be. So it's brilliant for playing any platformers. I always play that. I've been playing Pentacorn's Quest with it as well today, but with that, it just takes it on to another level. It really is. Honestly, the music is just, you know what I'm like about music. It's just fantastic. And inside, when you buy it, you get an awesome manual. and then you get like playing cards with all the different characters because you can like change it to like different characters in the game, so that like you can do different things when you're different characters, like maybe jump or climb higher, and then you've got like a map and what have you, and then you've got this really cool treasure chest.
Oh, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
And stuff inside.
Yeah, nice little extras.
That was the first homebrew game I got, and
You've just made Hobby Lodge buy another game.
I was hooked. I was hooked from the start. Honestly, it's awesome.
Where do you buy that from, Paul? Is that still available?
Yeah, it's from Protovision. So yeah, just if you Google Protovision, it comes from Germany. It's not cheap, but they've been out of stock for a while, and they have got them, or they were in stock at least in the last month anyway. Because I was on there looking at something else, and yeah, they had them back in. But you're going to be looking at paying at least over 50 quid. If you get one for under £50, then you've done really well.
Yeah.
But in the Amstrad, I've got to go with Galactic Tomb. It's a little bit
stunning game.
A little bit like Turrican-ish.
Kind of, but not. It's his own thing.
That's the closest. It's more of like a original platformer, shoot 'em up sort of platforming game, but like with a Turrican look. And obviously it doesn't scroll. It's a flip screen game. I'm pretty sure it's flip screen. If I remember
Do you know
rightly.
what I see when you hold that up, right? What I see is Ant-Man. Like, if you look at the look, it looks like Ant-Man, doesn't it?
You're going to ruin it for me now, the cover. Now I'll all be able to see it.
That's all I see, Ant-Man.
I'm just seeing Martin Hobby Lodge. I'm on the website now. We'll be all shortly.
How much is it? How much it is? Because I'll be interested to know.
He's going to blame you, for all this spending he's doing.
No.
I get the impression he can afford it.
But yeah, that would be my two favorite homebrew games so far. But as we know, there's so much coming out. I mean, do you class Sonic as homebrew? I guess so.
Yeah,
of course it is.
We're getting Impossible Mission 3.
Oh yeah, now that one does interest me.
And obviously, because the first game I ever saw, and the reason why I got a Commodore 64 was because of Impossible Mission. So if they make a homebrew Impossible Mission, it ticks both boxes. It's the nostalgia box, and it's the Impossible Mission. It's homebrew as well. So yeah, I'm really hoping that one comes through. That's Icon 64. So that's Trevor Story. I'm pretty sure he's the same guy who done the Shadow over Hawksmill. That Martin's been playing on some of these live streams. So I'm pretty sure it's the same guys who've done that. So I'll keep your fingers crossed and hopefully might get to play test it if I ask nicely. So if you watch it,
for that. Right, Si, what's your favourite homebrew game?
It is very difficult to pick just one, but I was going to go with Metal Man because it's where the homebrew collecting started for me. But it's going to have to be Castlevania, a Spectral Interlude, which was supposed to be basically a Simon's Quest direct port, but turned into its own game. And if you've ever played this, it is such a stunning game. This is the again Bumfum Soft. I think this is the first run they did, and they had it like. See, this is what did annoy me though with these runs. It was like limited to 30, and then all he did was change the tape cover and say, "Oh, I'm selling more of them." A little bit of a
that's why
a little bit of a cop out. What colour's your tape?
I didn't get that.
This is the first run. You see the difference, and the tape as well is. So this is the Crimson Edition. My one was. What's your one say?
The Limitless Chrome.
Limitless Chrome. So we're going to make it forever Chrome tape.
Yeah.
Say you've got to talk about the music.
It's just what can you say? It's absolutely amazing, the music on this. When I first heard, the first part of the game's great, but once you flick over to you go off past the castle and go into the actual main game, the music is just, you know what I mean? It's up there with the NES. It really is that. It feels really good. So just a really, really fun game. I've never got anywhere close to completing it. Probably never will. but I'll still put it up, load it, sit there for like 10 minutes waiting for it to load, play it for an hour, and then turn it off. Great game. I really love this game.
The controls are quite hard on it, I find.
Really, you find? I find the controls on the Neopass are harder than this.
Nah, really? Like,
Yeah.
that is the one where you load up like the intro where you learn how to do all the fighting moves first, isn't it?
No. That's.
Or am I thinking Final?
You're thinking.
Oh, I'm thinking Final Fight.
Yeah, you're thinking
Yeah,
this one.
I'm thinking Final Fight.
And if we're going to look at tapes as well,
Yeah,
I mean, might as well look at this one while we're here.
Why not?
It did. I mean, that's the spine.
Yeah.
And
Well, I did get the special edition for this one.
look, it's Scott looking for his.
No,
Yeah,
what
see,
I'm
that-
looking
that
for
does
is
look
I bought a CD off someone off Sinclair for sale, and it's a guy that does all his music through a Spectrum.
Oh,
And I
what?
just
Yeah,
bought
yeah,
this
yeah. He's a
album.
great guy. Is it the Beeper? Is it the Beeper album?
Yeah,
Has it got like a picture of like a face on the front of it?
yeah. And I'm trying
Yeah.
to find it because I wanted to show
I was
it.
because he's done it on vinyl, he's done it on CD, but I said to him, it's like, are you going to be doing it on cassette? Because he's done a few others on cassette, and he said eventually this year, so I'm going to wait and get it on cassette because then it can fit in with the other tapes that I've got. But the vinyl record looks nice though that he's done.
Oh, I didn't realise.
Yeah, that's my game. That's my game.
Yeah, I mean that's one that you were saying to me to get was the Castlevania, wasn't it? As well as
Yeah.
obviously I want to get Ooze as well, but anybody who knows anything about Bum Fun Gaming, it's the postage that will kill you with them.
Yeah.
But that is meant to be coming out on another label. Ooze.
Yeah,
It's
I
one
hope so.
of the best platform games, to be honest. It's just there's no faults in this whatsoever. It's great.
It does look good. I really do want to get it. I really do hope they release it over here somewhere because then postage costs are just ridiculous. I mean, you're looking. I think it's £9. I think £9 postage. Ridiculous. Like, I'm not paying that. It's nearly the price of the bloody game.
More in some of them.
Yeah. So, my one, I mean, it's going to be a bit boring, my one, because, I mean, I've already showed it, and that's Man Cave. That's my favourite. Although there is a close second, and I haven't got it to hand, unfortunately, and that's X-Force, which is also Cytronic, and that's a shmup.
I've never played that.
I did a vid on it. It's a good game. The music's really good as well, but it is very fast. I mean, Martin picked it up, and he said, "Oh, this is way too fast for me." So it's surprisingly quick.
Shooters, though, you get used to it, though, don't you? You're customised to the actual speed of the game.
Yeah, I found I got further each time I played it. So you definitely do. It's the patterns, isn't it? Because with that game, the enemies go off and then they come back on. And if you don't know where they're coming back on, that's when they catch you out. So, but yeah, great music on that game. I really enjoyed it. But I'd have to say that Man Cave is definitely top of the list for me. Oh, hang on. Hobby Lodge. What's he putting here? £12 to ship Sam's Journey.
Yeah. But to be fair, you get quite a bit in the box. But I think it's from Germany as well. I'm pretty sure Sam's Journey comes from Germany. But how much game, Martin? How much was it? How much is it these days? Or do you know what to say? Because you were last watching.
Well, to answer this question here, £9, where's it coming from? The moon? No, it's coming from Spain, I think, isn't it?
Germany.
No, I'm on about the Bum Fun Gaming.
Yeah,
That's Spain, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Spain.
I don't know what size doing. I think he's moving house at the moment.
No, I'm putting this. I've got a pile of the computers over here, and it's like I better start putting them away whilst we're. It got really quite high on the bed, so.
What's this? £48 total, so about the same price I paid for Elden Ring. Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's less than what I thought. I've seen them go on eBay for over 50 quid.
Didn't they do that on the cartridge as well?
But that's when they were out of stock, maybe. Yeah, you can only. Well, I think you can get it on disc, but I'm pretty sure everyone buys it on cartridge.
Cartridge.
Interesting.
Cartridge. Oh, there it is, right there. Yeah, this one's never far away. It's never far away.
Yeah, I've been tempted to get a few cartridge games, but then it's like, well, I don't know. My nostalgia's more would be tapes and also discs, because obviously I had discs before I had tapes back in the day. But I think I did have one cartridge, which was a dodgy old football game, if I remember right, on the C64.
I just wanted a full set of these because with having the GS, I
Yeah.
wanted all the GS cartridges. So
Yeah.
yeah, happy I've completed that. I should really do something about that, maybe a video on it or something. Because although Double Dragon's blatantly a fake, because it didn't cost us like 500 quid. I don't know. It's complete in a way. It's complete to me.
Yeah. Well, that's all that matters.
I'm never going to get an original, so I'm happy with that.
So, just out of curiosity, Paul, how much is that if you was to get an original? Is it a pricey one or?
At least 500-600 quid.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's a lot.
I bet it's a rubbish game.
The only person I know who's got a real one, it's definitely, well, actually, there's two. There's a guy in Australia that I talked to. He runs like the Commodore 64 Facebook group over there and what have you. The other one's Mr. Bads, Paul Badham. He's got an original one.
Hasn't he got one of everything now?
I did ask him in Blackpool if he was going to sell it. And he was like, no. I was like, oh, well, I've got to ask. But his is boxed as well. So, but I think we spoke about your biggest gaming regret. Was that on the Retro 5 stream? Or it was on another stream, and mine was one came up for 50 quid, Double Dragon cartridge. It was cartridge only, and I thought about it for too long. Literally 30 seconds, and I was like, yeah, okay. Because I just didn't even, I was like, I probably came up at the wrong time, but I went for it. By the time I pressed on it again, gone. So I'll never ever know whether that was a real one or not. I'll never know. And
I've had moments like that though, when I've been looking at things like Dreamcast games, and then you procrastinate too long. And then when you go, actually, I probably could manage that. You go to get it, gone. Yeah, I've had that.
It's devastating, isn't it?
Yeah, although saying that, when I did have that, it was with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and I'm glad that I didn't get it in the end, because when I did eventually get it, it was just before Christmas, and I remember Scott saying to me, it's a buyer's market, and he was right, because the guy sent me an offer down from £100 to 75, which was really good. So it ended up cheaper than I would have paid. So, So, sometimes it's not a bad thing. What's this? I try not to think too hard and just press the buy button. Yeah, I definitely get that impression, Martin.
We know, Martin.
Do homebrews hold their value?
Well,
I don't know.
Do, because certain ones
amount
of made, and then that's it. So,
I mean, I've got. Hang on, let me find it. It's here somewhere.
Is it green?
Cray 5.
Yeah, that's.
Cray 5 was limited to 50 copies by Monument Games, and Monument Games, they just don't make any anymore. When they do, it's sort of like they get like a limited run. But there was an optional extra to have like the extra pin badge in it. And this copy, I think originally they were being sold for 12, 14 pounds, something like that. And the last complete one that sold like this went for 150.
Wow.
So
that's quite a market.
Yeah, some can. But then again, that's just limited edition stuff. It's like limited run games now, if you know what I mean. You know, what are they worth? What people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah, that's true. Right, okay. So, guys, we've been going nearly 2 hours.
Oh,
so, it's funny, isn't it? Because I was saying, like, we'll probably do about an hour, but we'll see how it goes. And we've got nearly 2 hours. So, right. So, before we jump off, guys, I'll go around each of you. What have you got coming up on your channels, Scott?
I've got loads of ideas for videos. It's just having the time at the moment. I'm still trying to juggle the shop and YouTube and being a single dad and playing games. You know, I've really found myself playing games again in my spare time.
In the shop as well.
In the shop as well, yeah. I'm playing more games now than I have done in a couple of years.
And you see a wheel in Vikings.
So yeah, no, I've got a few videos in the pipeline. It's just having that hour or two just to get them done, really. So,
and I should point out that anybody who hasn't been to the Retro Realm shop really should get up there. It's a great shop.
I think my next video is going to be a Retro Realm shop video because
definitely.
I feel like it's been over a month or so since I've updated people on the shop, so I might do a video on that.
I thought your prices were really good. I mean, they're cheaper than CEX, so they worked out really well for me. And that Alien Attack, as you know, and I've got to show it because why not? I know it's not 8-bit micro, but it has to be done.
Did you to see all this?
Yeah, look at that! Look at that!
Minty.
Yes. Did you know? Did this come from Alex, Nintendo Arcade?
It did, yes.
Yeah, he said that to me. He said, "Oh, glad it's gone to a good home." And I was like, "No way! Like small world, isn't it?"
Yeah.
So, yeah, I love it. I love it. So, right, okay, Paul, what you got coming up on your channel?
The video for Amstrad Homebrew is next. That's going to be Relentless. I did cover it on Game and Granddad's channel when some of us made some videos for him while he was having a bit of a time out. So yeah, I'm going to do it for the channel. After that, got the quiz. Got the quiz towards the middle of the month, and it's a 3-way with Retro Chef Martin.
3-way, eh?
That you, and Steve from 8-Bit Retro Refix. So yeah, I look forward to that. We'll see how it goes, and hoping you guys come on pretty soon. Obviously, Si, I know that you don't want to come on, but
Or if you have Scott,
nice
again,
try. It ain't happening.
If you have Scott on again, you're going to have to make them questions harder.
He has special ones for Scott when he comes on.
Yeah.
Dial it up to 11.
It's different now because it's not 1-on-1. Like your score is just what your score is, and you go into that league table with what you finished on, and so the questions have got to be round about the same for everyone. So yeah, it means I don't have to try and find harder questions every week, or it's harder for me to find questions about stuff that's like open knowledge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so that's why I thought we'd change the format, because otherwise, when you get someone who knows everything like Scott, you're on every week, you know, and I've got to keep on finding questions that's going to challenge him, but also that the other person's got a chance, and it was really difficult to find that kind of balance. So this way, I just have to make them. They're just the same for everyone. So yeah, got the quiz, and obviously we'll have a Retro 5 stream coming up, which we hope you'll all be involved in. But I don't know if Lee's hosting it or I am. I'm thinking it might end up being me, but I'm not sure. We need to have a chat about that. Yeah, that's it really. That's it until the Mac gets here, and then you might not hear from me that much while I'm getting to work. I've got a project planned that I'm really looking forward to doing, and it's right up my street, and nobody's done this before. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Nice. Look forward to it. Right, Si, what have you got coming up on your channel?
I was planning actually doing a Donkey Kong comparison video for the Spectrum. I found a weird Donkey Kong game the other day, and it just sent me down a rabbit hole of looking at so many different ones. And it's amazing how such a simple game could have been interpreted in so many different ways. So yeah, that's what I'm going to try and do this weekend. That's after I've recovered from playing Ghosts and Goblins last week. It takes a while to get over that. And after that, I'm not sure. I do have a fireside video planned sometime in the future, near future, hopefully, and just more of a reflection, looking back over the past 2 years and everything on YouTube. If you answer a few questions, Oscar get on there. To be honest, it's more of an excuse that I just want to have a fire in the back garden. Not done one for a while. You know, the weird thing is, it's like if anyone's come to the channel through the Christmas period, it's like they just don't know that was just a thing that I did and that I really enjoy doing.
When was the last one?
About 3.5 months ago.
I was going to say, it was a while ago, yeah.
Longer?
Yeah. Yeah, it probably was longer, to be honest. I was trying to have a look back the other day, and I'm sure I did one, and it was freezing outside. Although I do remember doing it, and because what people don't realise is I do record the video, But then I sit there till about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning drinking, and I just remember falling in the house and not being able to make it to the bedroom. So what I say is an excuse to have a fire and a drink. I really do mean it. So yeah,
Why not?
yeah, why not? One day there'll be more people around the fire, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
But
and
yeah,
then you can
that's it.
show us. Then you can show us how to chuck fire around and all that stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust Paul.
Not after red wine, anyway. Right. Well, I would like to say I've got loads of stuff planned, but I really haven't. I have got an idea for a video that I want to do. You guys are all aware of what it is, but it's putting pen to paper and working out how I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to have to go down the voiceover route of doing it. But yeah, I've just got to do my research and make sure I'm absolutely spot on everything before I even think about recording that. So that one could take a while. Other than that, I really haven't given it any thought. I've really been thinking about this for the last week or so. So I've not really given anything else any thought, to be honest. So
let's hope this is the first of many, because
Yeah.
I've enjoyed.
It's been a really good stream. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, get lots of
Yeah,
more.
I
Get some other people on as well with different points of view and different computers that they used to like. So
yeah, we'll get Leon about the Amstrad.
yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll have to give him a quiz when he comes on.
Right, okay. Well, I think we're going to wrap that one up there then, guys. Thanks to everybody who's been in the chat, who's been joining in. Apologies if I've missed some of your comments, because this is all new to me. But I've really enjoyed this.
You've done a good job, mate. Well done.
Oh,
Yeah.
cheers.
Your first one, that was good going.
Cheers. And yes, I think we will have to do this more often, definitely. Maybe a monthly basis. So, yeah. Right, okay. Is everyone going to wave like they're on a game show while I hit the outro? Here we go.
Keep it up.